Hey, what's up everyone? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining us. And today we got ourselves a knife review. So this right here is the Papa Bear Knives Essential. This is a custom one-off version. Now, I've had this since January, so that makes it about 10 months that I've had it in my possession, using it for different tasks, and today we're finally going to be reviewing it. So not only do I want to tell you how I feel about it, what I think its strengths and cons are when it comes to using this blade in the last 10 months, but at the same time, I like to show the knife in action. So this blade, we're going to be using it in different methods. We're going to be making a one-stick fire. We're going to be hollowing out a cactus container for boiling some water. And then we're going to be doing some campfire cooking. So thank you for joining us. Let's get started. So you guys know the deal. Before we start testing, we're just going to go ahead and get the specs out of the way. So for those of you who don't know, this is a relatively new knife maker. He goes by Papa Bear Knives. His name is Alan. Now he's been making knives about 2 to 3 years, so he's relatively new in the knife making circuit, but he is very talented. The guy can make some beautiful blades, outstanding fit and finish, and really interesting designs, very beautiful designs. So go ahead and give him a follow, at least take a look at his website and his Instagram page. I'll have the links to both down below. Now with that being said, this model is called the Essential. It's one of the ones that he offers, though I do got to say that this is a slightly customized, a one-off version that's slightly larger than what he normally offers. Now once again, he's a custom knife maker, so in case you're interested in making something like this, something bigger, you know, you just got to reach out to him, and I'm sure you guys can work something out. The overall length of this blade that I'm holding is 10 1/8 inch long. The blade itself is slightly less than 5 1/4 inches, made out of 8670 carbon steel, full flat grind with an acid stonewash finish. The blade thickness is slightly under 5/32 inch thick, so it is a thick boy. And this handle is an absolute beauty. I mean, this is easily one of the most beautiful knives, if not the most beautiful knife that I've ever owned. So this one has burnt orange burlap bolsters, up at the top, black spacer, European stag scales. I mean, just an absolute beauty. And I love how he's able to somehow perfectly blend two different styles. In a way, it reminds me of a very retro hunting knife, something from the 70s, kind of like an Uncle Henry with this trailing point up here. But at the same time, it's very modernized with the micarta and the stonewash finish and all that stuff. So really nice. This one also did come with a leather sheath. Nice and simple sheath. You know me, I don't like ferro rod loops or anything like that on my sheath, so this works beautifully for me. As far as I'm aware of, he did make this sheath himself. So he is a bladesmith first before he is a leather maker, so you may see some slight hiccups here and there on the stitching, but overall it works fine, it looks good. I think that even adds a little bit to the charm, that homemade charm. And the blade goes in there just fine, no issue. Really nice. So for the one stick fire, we're going to use this stick right here. This is all we can find locally. There's just not a lot of thicker logs in our area, but this will do just fine. So let's give that a shot. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to test number 2. We did basic bushcraft stuff with the 1-stick fire. Now let's get more regional with some desert bushcraft. And I gotta be careful here. And this is a cactus. And one good test to test out when it comes to being intricate and being careful is how am I gonna hollow this thing out to make a water container out of this. So first things first, we gotta get rid of these thorns and glochids. Now I will say that this is somewhere where the knife is not gonna really do that great because of that upward sweep. It's opposite. We want the sweep to go downwards like this, so you're breaking apart these little needles, but it's fine. Worst comes to worst, if it's giving us problems, we can always use things like rocks or even something like this that can, check it out. Look how quickly this takes care of that. All right, so as you can tell, we took off the larger needles, the spines. A lot of these little glochids were removed as well. The rest we can singe off with the fire. What I want to do now is start carving into this, and that's what I want to make sure that this blade doesn't have any residue on the blade itself, any of the small hairs or anything like that that can get into our container. But let's start cutting this off. And it looks like it's struggling, but the fact is that my hand, I don't have a good grip on it because I'm trying to avoid thorns, which I just got. But if I had gloves, I'd be able to make this knife slide through much faster. Okay. Let's go the other way. There we go. Gotta remove some glochids from my finger. Like I said, the knife itself, had I had a tougher purchase, stronger purchase on the cactus pad, it would have sliced beautifully through this. But because I'm struggling here, that's not the fault of the blade itself. That's mine. But here's our first step. And now time to go in and hollow this out. And we have a whole video tutorial if you're interested in checking this out if you weren't aware of this. For now, we're just kind of going quickly because it is the knife review. The point of this video is the review itself, not the step-by-step process on this. But you get the point. Looks like cantaloupe, huh? Look, the entire blade is in the pad. Okay, so I'd say that's good enough. Hollowed it out pretty good. You don't have to pull out a lot of this stuff, but it does take a lot of just slow, deliberate movement. Got to clean up a little bit of the mess over here. So obviously this is some clean water I'm bringing from home, but say we had found a puddle, a creek, anything like that, and we don't have a container, and we hollowed something out like this, and now we're able to get some water from in there that's not safe to drink yet. And we're going to put some hot burning rocks in there so they can stone boil that water, kill any protozoa, any bacteria that can get us sick and possibly kill us. And we'll be drinking some safe water. Very hot water at that, but at least it's safe to drink. So we'll give the rocks that are in the fire maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll dig them out and throw them in there. So we got to get a move on. The sun is setting quickly now that it's autumn. It's just going down faster and faster every day. Now, we weren't able to successfully capture anything in terms of small game. We did try for weeks. That's why these knife reviews are very behind. So instead, what I did bring is this nice, fat, marinated T-bone steak. So we're going to cook it over the coals, caveman style, and then from there pull it out, and then we'll be using the blade to slice the pieces so Cuervo and I can eat. And then in the meantime, our water from our cactus container is going to be cooling off, so that way I don't burn my mouth when I do drink that water. So let's place this guy right there. Okay, folks, so we let it cook about 4 minutes on each side. It is a very thick piece of meat. So, moment of truth. It is dinner time. And look how beautifully this thing slices. This outside part appears to be a little bit slightly overcooked as compared to what I like to eat, but I'm sure the middle part is perfect. Slices beautifully this steak and this jalapeno. Really nice. Alright, let's get a piece from the middle. See how that came out. Nice and rare. So yeah, I think this thing needs a couple more minutes. Not too bad. Not bad at all, actually. I have a better idea. So you've seen me drinking some of this warm, ashy water. It's safe to drink, though not enjoyable. So I have a better idea what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna spill that water out. I already spilled a lot of it. And to enjoy my jalapenos and my steak, I'm gonna make myself a survival beer cup. Bottoms up, everyone. Cheers. Good stuff. Let's get another piece over here. Okay, so we did take a 15-20 minute break to eat our food, have a beer, and relax. It is now nighttime. It is getting pretty chilly now. So let's go ahead and end this now. So let's go ahead and talk about, once again, the Papa Bear Knives Essential. Now, once again, this is a custom version, slightly larger than what he offers, but once again, he's a custom knife maker. So in case you're interested in something identical to this or the same size, dimensions, feel free to shoot him a message. Once again, I have the links down below to his Instagram. Check this guy out. This guy really has a potential to be that next big knife maker. I mean, he's churning them out quickly, and he's making some beautiful blades. And I mean, the guy knows aesthetics. I mean, he can make some really cool combinations with handles, with different kinds of steels, all kinds of stuff. So once again, check him out. So, talking about comfort, I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10. It is a pretty comfortable knife. This handle is nice and beefy. It's not overly large. It's not too small. Just perfect, at least for my hands. I have some pretty large hands. Plenty of room there. It is a little squarish like the PKS, though not as squarish. So pretty good. And for the size of it, it's surprisingly light. Now, the thumb scallops are really good. So once again, surprisingly light. Nice and roomy. If there's one slight setback is the contours of these stags, of the stag handle, the scales. If you are putting a lot of pressure, a lot of, force to it, like you're batoning, after a while you will feel that. So that's just part of having, stag scales. But overall, not a big deal. When it comes to Woodcraft, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It is pretty decent. It's about average. Now, the thick spine is going to make it a great batoner. I don't really worry that this thing's going to be, having trouble as long, at least with the wood in my area, like cottonwood and pine, that kind of stuff. Now, the flat grind, just being a flat grind, it's just not going to excel as good as a Scandinavian grind or a saber grind when it comes to wood. But once again, it also comes down to the woods in your area. Now, the wood that I did make a one stick fire earlier, I'm pretty confident that was a little piece of cottonwood. And cottonwood and pine, all those, they make knives look really good. So this thing's feathering very easily. However, in the 10 months I've been using it, I have messed around with this with different types of woods like chinaberry or mesquite, and it does struggle, as any knife would, honestly, because those are twisty, knotty type of woods, almost very fibrous. So just the fact that it's a flat grind, it's going to struggle a little bit more. It's not going to be as conducive to, say, notching, carving a figure 4 deadfall or something like that. Now, when it comes to game processing, sadly, I'm going to put an A. I never did use this when it comes to game processing. I was testing other knives at the time, and honestly, just how thick this thing is, it just really didn't seem very conducive to that. Now, let's compare this to my usual belt knife, my snake eater, and look at the difference in thickness. So when it comes to processing game like a rabbit, trout, bullfrogs, anything like that, I tend to focus on something that's a little thinner. However, when Alan designed this knife, he mentions that he wanted this to be like an all-around camp knife, a jack-of-all-trades kind of knife. So that's one of those knives where, if this is all you have, I think it'll do. But normally, you're going to have your haversack, your backpack. You'll probably have something like a Swiss Army knife, a small boot knife, something that will take care of processing squirrels and catfish and stuff like that. So it's not a big deal. Now, what I did with it a lot is food prep. And food prep, I will give it a 6 out of 10. It is a good slicer. Not, of course, the sliciest slicer because it is quite thick. But if you just focus on it, pay attention, you can do some really thin slices. One of the things I cook a lot at home is potatoes. And at first, this thing was kind of struggling with potatoes to make them very thin slices. Once I kind of I kind of figured out how to use this thing, I was able to make some ridiculously thin slices. Also, when it comes to slicing meat, slicing jalapenos, mushrooms, that kind of stuff, it's not your sliciest knife, but it'll do just fine. As far as maintenance, it's going to be a 6 out of 10 once more. Because it is a carbon steel blade, you got to take care of it. Now, this one does have a stone wash finish that will add a little bit of protection, but I would still suggest you take care of that. Also, the stag handles do require a little bit of care, as well as the leather sheath. These are organic materials that can break down over time if you are neglectful and you're letting them get wet and that kind of stuff. So just take care of it. So with the grading system being said, who is this knife for? Where is this knife going to excel? I'm going to say that this is a great belt knife, just an all-around belt knife. Once again, quoting the maker himself, the designer himself, Alan, he calls this a jack of all trades. He wanted something just, to be able to take care of everything, and I completely agree with him. This is large enough and strong enough that it can be your main camping knife. You go out to the woods, you're going to be doing some batoning, you're going to be cutting up some food, possibly processing game. This is going to take care of it. So that's about it for us, guys. Now, this knife will be a giveaway, but only on our Patreon group. Now, this was not donated to us, guys. So this is going to be a giveaway for the month of October. So at the last day of October, Halloween, we always have a monthly giveaway in our Patreon, and it's always something different. For this month, it's going to be the Papa Bear Knives Essential. Of course, I'm going to clean it up, sharpen it up, and then it's going to be one lucky winner over there is going to be getting one of these. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, goes a long way to helping us out. Comment down below if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. And once again, down below in the description box, you will see the link so you can reach out to Papa Bear Knives. At least check out his Instagram. Check out all his other knives, his models. He's churning them out quickly and beautifully. Great stuff. Also down below is our Patreon if you're so inclined to join. Have a chance to win this knife in 2 weeks. And that's about it for us, folks. So thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.